Welcome to my SoulMask in-depth guide for the Ancient Ruins Dungeon, River Valley. This dungeon has a lot of great loot, and is a good dungeon to farm your portal parts, and most importantly, weapon and durability mod 3s. In this guide, I will be going over the following. Information on the dungeon, the loot that you can get from this dungeon, and my required items to bring to this dungeon. I will also be walking you through the dungeon. Timestamps will be in the description. Let's begin. Starting with the information. This will most likely be the first dungeon you may encounter in SoulMask. This dungeon consists of one main hall, one upper and one lower hall, 9 loot rooms and 13 ancient relic chests, and 2 golden ancient relic chests, 1 tablet, 1 boss room, and a boss loot room. Now for the possible loot, the mysterious stone table. Any of the 3 portal parts. Both the table and the portal parts are RNG. You may also acquire modules, sunstones and crystals, durability mods, animal parts, corrosion tanks, and various minerals. But most importantly, this dungeon can drop the weapon and tool durability 3 mod that drops in the boss loot room. Next, we will be going over the required items for this dungeon. I recommend you be in at least bronze armor. You might be able to do beast armor, but I don't recommend it. You also will need gauntlets or a hammer, since we are going to be fighting mechanical enemies. Speaking of them, you should bring plenty of corrosion tanks to throw on each mechanical enemy, so you can deal more damage to them. You need a bow and arrows for the locked rooms. You can also bring buffs and mods if you are lower level, but it's not a requirement. Bring food and water. You could be there a while, but with my guide you'll get through it awfully quick. Also bring heals, of course, and energy for your mask. This is where we are going. I'll meet you there. Now just follow me. Now starting with the main hall, to my left there are 2 doors with a mini puzzle, I guess you would say. One has a mechanism that opens the other door, which is a loot room. The door to the right with the 1 fire bowl out leads to the other halls, and more importantly, the boss room. Then the door to my sharp right leads to the lower hall. I will be taking us to the boss room first, with a few puzzle loot rooms on the way. Now let's begin. Make sure to click on the mechanism and continue following me. This will be the first loot room. Now we are headed to the boss room with 1 more loot room on the way. We will be going through the door with the 1 fire bowl that is not lit. Now for the next loot room, open the big doors. Use your bow on the mechanism like shown in the video. Just a tip. Sometimes you have to shoot it a few times for it to activate. Time. We are now headed to the next hall. Welcome to the first hall. The door straight ahead with one of the fire bowls not lit is the way to the boss room. The door to the left leads to another loot room. The door on the right leads to the lower hall. We are now continuing to the boss room. Go through the big doors to enter the boss room. Kill the boss. Loot all the boxes, make sure to grab the relic key to gain access to the ancient holy relic. Now for what you probably came here for. The Weapon and Tool Durability Mod 3. This is the best weapon and tool durability mod in the game. Now we will be heading back to the upper hall. Okay, so now we will be going to the door on the left, which leads to the next loot room. Use your bow on the mechanism, then you will have access to the loot. Next, we will be going to the door on the right. This door leads to the lower hall. Once you enter the lower hall, place down some quaking stars at the door you entered. This is so you know what door leads back to the upper hall. Welcome to the lower hall. The door on the left leads to a room with a tablet and some loot. The door on the right leads back to the main hall. The door in front of us leads to the last loot room of this dungeon. We will start with going through the left door. Next, we will be going through the right door. And this is the main hall. Now we will be going through the last door. And that is it for this dungeon. You can go back through the right door to leave. Thanks for watching. I will be making guides on all of the dungeons in SoulMask, so keep your eyes open until we meet again.